Donald Trump just made a massive announcement about the LA riots, and leftists are in shock. Now, before we get into this story, please like, comment, and share at Explain America. We really appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Now, the American left in this country have tried to make Donald Trump out to be a dictator for doing things that pretty much every president in recent history has done. They've all called up the National Guard. They've all tried to deport illegal aliens. That goes from Bill Clinton all the way through Barack Obama and even Joe Biden to some extent. But Donald Trump is supposedly a dictator. Now, he was recently at the Kennedy Center and he was confronted about what the LA riots and what he is trying to do to protect American citizens, protect ICE and police officers in there who were assaulted and even injured. And you would think that the same Democrats who were in favor of stronger enforcement against January 6th, which didn't kill anyone directly except for Ashley Babbitt, a Trump supporter, you'd think they would be in favor of law and order and stopping these kind of insurrections around the country. After all, we heard about it for months, if not years, that January 6th was a threat to national security and that Trump should have done more to bring out the National Guard. Well, obviously, they are not in favor of it now when it comes to deporting illegal aliens, and particularly criminal aliens. Let's not forget the LA riots were touched off by an operation to arrest criminals who were associated with money laundering for cartels. That's really what this was all about. So you have to wonder if Trump really struck a nerve by going after the money laundering, going after the cartels. I mean, look at what happened after he went after USAID, right? They are absolutely blasted Doge and torched Teslas across the United States. And, you know, they weren't calling for law and order this entire time. So it seems like they're very selective about what they want a president to do in terms of law and order. January 6th, non-deadly riot, again, except for a Trump supporter. And I'm not counting, you know, things that happened after January 6th, but I'm just talking about what violent rioters were proven in a court of law to have done. It was non-deadly in that account. They didn't carry firearms. They didn't, you know, I mean, there were police officers injured there, absolutely, and we condemn that. But there were also hundreds of police officers injured during the Black Lives Matter riots, right? That we saw in the Summer of Love. And where was the Democrats' condemnation for that? So they're extremely political in the riots that they either quietly tolerate or in some cases even endorse with sort of slippery language like, oh, we should be out in the streets, we should fight like hell, like a recent union leader did. So no, Donald Trump, he had a great response at the Kennedy Center about what he's going to do about the LA riots and other riots around the country. Watch.
Mr. President, will you be pulling back on the military? Will you be pulling back on the military presence in Los Angeles and in California soon? What's the barometer you're using?
We're going to be there, absolutely. If we weren't there, if we didn't bring in the National Guard and the Marines, you would probably have a city that was burning to the ground, just like it was a number of months ago with the housing. You would have had a big problem there. If we weren't there. In fact, the police chief said so much. If you look at what his statements were, he said, we're very lucky to have had them. If we weren't there, that city would have been burning to the ground, would be burning right now.
Mr. President, what do you think about unrest? What are you prepared to do, sir?
About what?
If this turns, well, the protests have spread now to 16 cities across the U.S.
Well, I don't know. That's what you're saying. Do I believe you? I don't think so.
Well, I got that.
I can tell you that what we have is a situation in Los Angeles that was caused by gross incompetence. They didn't have the police to handle it. The police were asking us to come in. They were very late. We had to go in to save a lot of ICE officers, as you know, who were held up. They were holed up in a building, and they were being attacked. And the military went in. The National Guard went in and got them. The police weren't able, unfortunately, to move fast enough, but we moved fast enough. And while we were there, we stayed there, and we stopped tremendous destruction and death. We stopped death. We stopped a lot. And if you look at them cutting up and breaking up the sidewalk and getting it and using it as a weapon, did you see that with the curb? Where they're breaking up the curb, nice curb, and they break it up with a hammer because they couldn't get the bricks in. You know, they got caught with the bricks. We have them under arrest. They were bringing bricks in to throw at our police.
Thank you for watching. This has been Kyle Becker with Explain America. Please like, comment, and share if you have any thoughts about this story, about what you think President Trump should do about these riots in the country. Thank you.